All right, 270 yards, and it's either a young cow or a calf. It's a female, either way. I've never shot a calf before. My son did like 6 years ago, and even then I was like, oh, this is a small cow, smallish cow. But anyway, I was up on the ridge line, actually right where those folks are right now. I'd left the saddle, I was going up the ridge, and then this lone cow came running along there, and then all of a sudden, instead of going to the trees, it turned and just started running down. It got to 260, 270, 266, and I shot it. It was facing me, and it turned slightly, so then I just put it right through, and it just didn't touch either front shoulder and blew out the heart. I actually flipped back, cut 2 ribs and flipped them back, and it had blown out the heart, but it did leave a bunch of stomach content inside, so I didn't take the ribs. No stomach content on the shoulder or hindquarter meat or the tenderloins or the back straps, so just worked out perfect. So I thought I might have messed up one shoulder and maybe taken out a back strap, but it just went right in, boom, took out the heart. I mean, shot off the whole top half of the heart. Just exploded. Anyway, but here we are. It is a beautiful day, and because it's smallish, it's dragging pretty nice on here. So I just dragged it like 15 feet, but I think I'm gonna be able to haul it all out in one go. But I left bone in, and I'll probably turn all of this into burger, except the back straps I'll just cut into multiple packages of meat, or steaks. So beautiful morning, and as luck would have it, my son shot his elk Thanksgiving week, Tuesday of that week, and I mean, he hit it right there, somewhere right in here. I mean, I'm 50 feet from where he shot his, so I just don't have him with me. So those people right there are doing what I was gonna do. I left a old guy, he's like 83, in that saddle. He came traipsing up, and I'd been there a half hour in the morning. We just sat there chatting. I said, well, I'm gonna go up and around and work that timber. And I didn't even make it to the first over the first knoll, and then I saw this one running down. Actually, I saw it running up along there, and I thought, she'll go into the timber, but there might be more herd behind her. I'll go up on top in case they split and some try and go off that way. And then all of a sudden, for no reason, she just turned and started running all the way down here. So this was literally my last day of my permit for this area. I dragged myself out of bed at 4 a.m. and came out to this beautiful day. So last day of my season, and I got the second elk in the fridge in the freezer with my sons. So we'll have all the roast and burger and decent amount of steaks we could want. So beautiful day. It was great because Monday I came up here and did the same thing, went up on top, and there's a draw, and I told my father-in-law, I'm going to ease down here. I bet there's elk in there in the timber. And I ease down, and I'm staring at a bull that's bedded, and he comes walking up. I go, look at that bull, and they're 50 yards from me. And I thought the rest with him were bulls. And he goes, there's a cow in there. There's like 8 elk. I go, oh, and I kneel down and go, and it, I hadn't put a bullet in the chamber, and they ran into the trees. I took 2 longer shots as they left the trees in the bottom, and they kicked out like 50 elk, and they were all pooled in here, but we couldn't see them. And a guy sitting in that saddle shot one. So anyway, such a beautiful morning. You can see those guys skylined up there. Oh, it was tough getting up this morning. I've just been tired. It's the middle of December. It's been a long 3 or 4 months of hunting, so you're kind of like, oh, we got enough meat in the freezer, and you're like, no, look at this country, it's beautiful. I'd rather be out here laying in bed. Good deal. Time to load up and get out. Whew. It was easy going down that slope. But as soon as I got this tiny little knob and the snow got knee deep, feels like it's 5 times as heavy. So I gotta go up over this little rise into the saddle, and then it's pretty much slightest downhill or flat all the way out of here. So I might have to shuttle some half loads up over this little rise. But it's working well. Let me see that. They'll just be drifts that are suddenly, whoa. I just stepped in a badger hole. Oh, and I jacked my knee. That's one dangerous thing about out here. There's badger holes everywhere. So, they'll just suddenly be a drift. And it's tough to plow through it. But maybe I can catch some of these elk tracks going up and over. I'm glad I have the sled. Close. We have to take the head out for a CWD testing. You can see the stubby nose. That's why I think it's a calf. The back straps were like 2/3 or half as big as the back straps off the big mature herd cow my son shot. I mean, those animals, I remember having the thought as I walked up on that, is that a bull or a cow? You know, you lift the leg even though there's nothing on the head. Yeah, I mean, it's just, they're so big, those mature herd cows. They've been around so long, they're so smart. But this one was by itself. Usually don't see calves by themselves unless they were just with mom, but the herds around here are all groups. So I thought this was just a cow that was part of a bigger herd on the backside or peeled off, or I don't know. But anyway, young cow or calf. My son shot a calf a couple of maybe 6 years ago, my other son, and I said, shoot that one and shoot the cow, and he shot the calf instead of the cow. And so we got up there, and actually it was really good meat. I mean, you get, like I said, 2/3 or sometimes half as much meat. They're still big animals, bigger than any deer I've shot. So I know there's a big drift up on top, so that'll be rough. All right, I went and ditched my pack because from here to the saddle is knee deep or over my knees. It's just too hard. But from there on out, it shouldn't be bad. But if I have to, I'll shuttle 2 runs. Half in, half out, come back and get the other half. I think I should be able to do it, just going slow. The Tetons are right there, but they're in the clouds, darn it. Whew. Such a beautiful day. It's crazy we both end up getting elk right in the same exact spot. All right, made it. These sleds are a lifesaver. I don't know if you can see or not. All right, so we've got about 3/4 of a mile or a mile out that draw or little canyon. So hoping the Tetons poke out. Looks like they're trying to, but They're up there. Well, that's a close to my season. No more 3:30 or 4 o'clock risings. Last day of my permit for this area. All right, I'll film again when I get out of here. Heard something rushing behind me and I just jumped out of the way before it took me out. Almost yanked me over. So, this nice slope, I actually have to walk behind it. Got a whole elk in there. 4 quarters, 2 back straps, tenderloin. I took a big slab off of each side of the neck for a good roast, and the head. So I'm thinking it's got to be a calf. It's kind of nice when the elk takes itself out. You have to start pulling here though. Fun. Time to pull again. So I've got a nice hard pack trail from the 5 or 6 different guys, and the guy on skis came in this morning this way. So it's pretty nice, and this thing's dragging really well. In that little trail. It's funny, me and my son struggled with a high front shoulder and back straps and everything in my pack and the gun in my pack, and then I was dragging a hind quarter. My son had the head and the front shoulder in his pack, dragging a hind quarter, and it was just work getting out of here. Because I didn't bring the sleds that day, I left them in the truck. But, man, sleds in snow are the way to go. As long as it's flatter downhill. Even uphill you can do in segments, but I couldn't, like, that'd be rough going up something like that. Alright, so I didn't film when I got to the truck. There were some guys there and we were just chit-chatting, I forgot. But I came home, boned it out, and I decided I didn't want to process it, grind it myself. Sometimes we do, but our grinder's just a smaller one, and it's kind of a hassle. So I took that down, and they're actually going to do some breakfast sausage and some different things, so should be good. And it's definitely, I knew it was a calf when I loaded it in, but there were 63 pounds of meat total, so boned out. So I kept a few of the calves, the lower leg for the, I'm going to slice them with a power saw and make ossobuco out of those. And so anyway, that's it. Good hunt. Good way to close the season. Better than not having anything, but I don't think I'll ever shoot a calf again. It's not worth the trouble to get that little bit of meat, so.